Early in my time in college, I knew that I wanted to be a band leader. I was fascinated by drummers who led their own bands like Tommy Igoe and Jojo Mayer, and I wanted to be just like them. And then, everything changed for me when I heard this album for the first time. Yeah, this is Art Blakey's album, Mosaic. Man, once I heard this right here, I was hooked on Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. Blakey is one of the best known hard bop musicians and band leaders in the history of jazz. He accomplished incredible things as a band leader. This man recorded 76 albums with the Jazz Messengers and also played a major role in introducing musicians like Cedar Walton, Freddie Hubbard, Bobby Timmons, Wayne Shorter, and others to the wider jazz world. I recently found these 3 incredible interviews of Blakey by an English journalist named Les Tompkins. Today, we're checking out 11 really insightful excerpts to figure out what Blakey was getting at as a band leader. Talking about club owners and promoters, he said, "Then they get some original ideas and think they can throw musicians together who have never played together before, and it fails. The public that we have now has gotten used to organized music. You see, after the Messengers, the MJQ, Horace Silver, or any of these well-organized groups come through with their arrangements, it makes it pretty hard for the others. The people know the difference now." I definitely agree with this. I think throwing together 4 or 5 musicians and cobbling together a sort of random set list, last minute, unplanned, doesn't really belong on the concert stage. Blakey knew that an audience wanted an intentional experience out of a concert. Thrown together performances are for wallpaper gigs, like weddings and restaurants. But concerts where people are paying for the music gotta be well-organized events. Some of our best musicians are in the rock field now, and they're putting out good music. What the rock drummers are doing is they're opening up the things that us jazz drummers are playing 3 or 4 times as fast and playing them slower. And it's real beautiful the way they got to this idea. Very clever too. Man, I love this one. It shows that Blakey wasn't a music snob. He could listen to the merits of the music in front of him and appreciate it for what it was trying to be instead of what it wasn't trying to be. A lot of musicians aren't so good at that. Jazz musicians are doing incredible things right now with every kind of music. They're following the jazz fusion tradition that started with guys like Duke Ellington and Dizzy Gillespie with Latin and Afro-Cuban influences and got expanded by guys like Chick Corea and Herbie Hancock with rock and funk, and now to musicians like Jojo Mayer with electronic music. I think that openness is something Blakey would have loved to see if he were still around. We formed the 17 Messengers, but that broke up because big bands were going out anyway. No, it hadn't been my idea. The guys put the band together, just picked me out and said, "You're the leader." I never had any hopes of ever being a band leader, never thought about it, but I always had a motor mouth. I had a way of talking to guys. I could organize, and people liked me for that. Blakey is referring to the set of abilities needed to lead a group, the ability to communicate a vision, and the ability to organize people. It definitely says something about him that the guys around him knew he was going to be the one to follow in this new band. When I'm leading shows, I definitely try to focus in on those 2 things, communicating well to my band members and being organized. Organization and clear communication make it really easy for musicians to make good music together. See, playing in a combo and playing in a big band is 2 different things. In a combo, every tub's got to sit on its own bottom. And when you lead a group, you really got to be into it. In a big band, the musical responsibility is distributed across 15 to 18 musicians, but in a small group, everybody's responsible for a large portion of the work. There's no blending in a small group. The part about leading a group, that's a big deal too. When you're the leader, you care more about the gig than everyone else does, and you should. Your name is on it, you've been planning it for weeks or months, but the band, in a lot of cases, they've all got a different gig tomorrow night. You can't expect them to be as invested as you are. That's totally unreasonable. So you have to pull the most weight, be the most invested, and take the most responsibility for the success of the show. But how many drum solos can you play? A drum is not a melody instrument. If you play too much drums, it becomes noise to people. They don't understand. I like it to be effective, and I do mean to get attention when I play that drum. You know, I don't try to be technical about it. Technique don't mean nothing to me. What I want to do is get into the bowels and the guts of the human soul, and I had the instrument to do it with. If you chew your food, you chew it in on time. Your heart beats on time. When I hit that drum, I get your attention and I try to shake you up inside. Now I can't do that all night. You've got to have melody instruments, because you'll get people so disturbed they won't know what to do with themselves. What sticks out to me is less the part about the drums and more the part about balance. Art Blakey was one of the best drum soloists to ever live, but you can definitely have too much of a great thing, and Blakey knew that. He had the ability to zoom out of the details and see the big picture. A great jazz show doesn't need 7 drum solos, it needs variety. There's such a thing as going too fast for your public. They have to catch up. He said this in reference to people asking for more songs like Moanin' and Blues March because they loved it so much. One of the strongest forces in all of human emotion is nostalgia. People love hearing what they know. But musicians, on the other hand, we're envelope pushers. We want to explore and experiment. There's a dance that band leaders have to do, drawing on that nostalgia while bringing the audience along into new stuff as well. I look for the character of a person mostly, his talent, and that's it. If his character ain't right, I don't have anything to do with it. It's like anything else. I don't care where he comes from or what he looks like. If he's got the talent and good character, he can work with me. This quote, more than any of the rest, spoke directly to my soul. I only want to be around good people who can play music well. Those are the only people I hire for shows I'm leading. Some of the very best musicians can sometimes have less than best attitudes, and I'm comfortable missing out on their ability if I know they're gonna cause me stress. I'm looking for folks that cause no stress. The audience are a part of the music and jazz, the great part of it. It's the spirit of the thing. Music only washes away the dust of everyday life. That's what it's supposed to do. If you don't make them happy so they forget about what's going on out there, you've failed. That's your job to do that. They didn't come in to be taught about it. They came for the feeling. That's what counts. Not the notes of anything. It's the feeling of the music that is most important thing. If you can make the people feel good, then that's it. I try to take this as a serious responsibility when I'm putting shows together. I want the audience to feel something special when they hear my friends and I playing. I don't want them thinking hard about what's happening in the music, trying to run calculations on what we're doing. I don't want them worried about what happened in their life before the show or what's happening after in their lives. I want them in the moment, feeling good. Your audience can make you play very good, what we call over the top. We don't even know what we're playing. It's so fantastic. You can improvise because of the feeling that they give you. It's a rapport back and forth. Man, this resonates. Nothing will send you into the musical stratosphere like an excited audience. One of the albums that influenced me the most as a band leader is actually Cannonball Adderley's Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. And it's not because of the tunes. It's because of the audience. Just listen to how excited and emotive they are. I want audiences at shows I'm leading to feel like they're free to do that. And actually, I begin every show by giving the audience permission to have a good time. It goes a little bit like this. I don't know what you're used to, but what we do here at a Jazz Collective show is you're allowed to have a good time. So if you hear something that gets you excited, it's okay for you to say, woo! Let me hear you say, woo! If you hear something that really sounds good, it's okay for you to say, oh yeah, say, oh yeah. That's how we roll here with the Gulf Coast Jazz Collective. It's time for us to get started. This is I-75 South. The longer I play and the older I get, every time I get up on the drums, I figure out what a dum-dum I really am. You never know it all. Sometimes I get off the stage and I think I played pretty good. I know I give my heart every time. I say, wow, that sounded good to me. Then I look back up at that stand and look at the drums, and the drums say, come on back up here. You think you're so smart? That's what keeps you going. There's always something new, and somebody will come up with something else. It's always changing. Music is like a river. It's got to flow, and it must change, and if it doesn't flow, it becomes stagnant and kills everybody around. I get this last one too. Music will keep you humble. On your very best day behind your instrument, there's still better to do, and I love that. There's always more to learn. When I listen through Blakey's discography, I hear a combination of his tried and true vocabulary as well as new things he was trying. He had curiosity, and curiosity keeps the musical river flowing. Art Blakey is the king. It's been awesome going through some of his band leading philosophy with you. I'm gonna be doing more videos about band leading, and I wanna know if there's anything you'd like for me to cover. Let me know in a comment, and I'll try to make a video happen for you. By the way, if you'd like to see what it's like when I lead a gig, I recently documented the making of a very special show where I premiered a song for my 5-month-old daughter. You can check that out here. All right, bye y'all. Blessings.